Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture Football.
And I'm Andrew Pollard from WhatCulture Football.
And we are here with your football news today. Don't forget, if you want to listen to this as a podcast when you're out and about, you can do so by searching for WhatCulture Football wherever you get your podcasts from. But our first story today concerns Newcastle United and the ongoing controversy around the failed takeover. Officially confirmed today by the Premier League that they have rejected Amanda Staveley's Saudi-backed takeover of the club. Not only that, though, it's all kicking off because now apparently Mike Ashley may be getting some sort of legal advice so he can appeal and protest this issue, something that has been rejected, as I said, by the Premier League. But simultaneously, the takeover was allegedly, according to NUFC 360 on Twitter, approved by the British government. It's insane. This, just to fill you in, Keith Downey and Sky Sports News was reporting this on Twitter late last night. As I said, Mike Ashley now considering his legal options. NUFC produced this statement. The club and its owners do not accept that Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters and the Premier League have acted appropriately in relation to this matter and will be considering all relevant options available to them. And now new babyface Mike Ashley has said he understands fans' frustrations and wants to reassure them that he has been fully committed to ensuring the takeover process reached completion. He continues to be fully supportive of Steve Bruce, the players, and all the staff. This is a story I sense that is going to run and run, Andrew.
Yeah, it is. Like you said there, it's just the babyface turn of Mike Ashley that nobody ever saw coming, that he's getting himself on side with the fans by like, look, I'm trying to get this through. I'm trying to do what I can. I understand your frustrations. I want to get this done. And like you said there, Wilborn, it seems like this is going to go on and on and on and on. I mean, some people might think, well, if they can get the deal somehow done and the appeal lodged, could they had this massive wedge of cash to spend before the transfer deadline? I think it's going to go on a lot longer than October the 5th, the deadline closes. I think this could be one that goes on into the new year, and you're thinking, well, if they appeal this, if they take legal action, I honestly have no idea where the power lies, brother, on this one. Well, because you've got the football governing body, but then you've got like law, so it's kind of. It's a nuts one. It's just, I guess it's just another day being a Newcastle fan, really. But for Newcastle fans, it's barely a day goes by without some sort of up or down, and I don't know if this is an up or a down. We need Simon Miller on this, clearly, to clarify the ups and downs.
Ashley furious with the Premier League, considering legal action against them. Him and Newcastle United saying that they don't believe that Richard Masters acted appropriately during the whole takeover processes. Look, it's mixed emotions for Newcastle fans around this whole thing. I think it's fair to say, they would have loved to have seen a massive cash injection, not just into the club, but to the local area. And obviously, along with that, signing Mbappe would have been nice. Having said that, it's all a bit iffy, isn't it? Saudi Arabian owners and the like. But it's just, I think the real twist in it is the fact that the government have just given it the A-OK, and the Premier League are the ones sticking their nose up at it. And, just yet again reminding of the sort of fit and proper persons test, that it seems like there's one rule for one and one rule for another almost.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing of, while we could sit here and wax lyrical about the pros and cons of the possible potential Saudi ownership model and being associated with Saudi Arabia, the other side of it is that, well, if it's good enough for some other clubs, then if you're Newcastle and Mike Ashley, if you're Mike Ashley, you're thinking, well, how can so and so get away with having this sort of ownership and this sort of deal in place, but for Newcastle we can't. I think this is just going to keep on going, because it is, if you've got British law saying one thing, is that does that override the Football Association? And I couldn't give you an answer on that, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know where the power lies on that, really. But it's, Mike Ashley seems determined to sell the club. We've known that because he's been trying to sell the club for, it feels like, as soon as he bought it.
Yeah.
So he's going to keep on, I think, taking whatever steps he can to try and get the sale through, and in this case, this takeover. But I mean, say he does go the legal route and he gets the okay, but who's to say that Saudi Arabia is still interested by then? Because it could be, we could be talking 6 months down the line, a year down the line. Who knows? It's, this one ain't over, brother.
No, exactly. We'll keep you posted on any developments that we hear about. But let's move on.
Yes, another ongoing saga. The is it happening? Is it not happening? Transfer of Jadon Sancho to Manchester United, and good news for Manchester United fans, because it's that the twist in the road that we've come to now is that seemingly things are going a little bit smoother in the negotiations. This coming from James Ducker of the Telegraph, who late last night reported that there's been a breakthrough, because there was this stalemate where Borussia Dortmund wanted 120 million, or a deal worth 120 million euros. Manchester United was saying that no, we're not paying that. But it seems like another stumbling block was the agent fees and personal terms. And even though the agreement's not there with Dortmund, United reportedly have an agreement in place with Sancho's agents and with the player himself for a deal in the region of £250,000 a week. Big money, and he's still only turned 20 in March. What were you doing at 20, Wilburn? I'm guessing it wasn't paying that well.
It's having a terrible haircut and dressing awfully, mainly, and
I'm still
drinking a lot of Strongbow.
I think we all were. Yes, God love the bow. I haven't touched any for a decade, I think. But anyway, Jadon Sancho still only 20. He's keen to move to Manchester United. United obviously are keen. Dortmund they're still holding out for something in the region of 120 million euros. I'd imagine that would be an initial outlay and then add-ons to take it up to that. And I mean, you look at the stats for him. Like I said, only turned 20 in March. For Borussia Dortmund, in 99 games across 3 seasons, he's got 34 goals and 37 assists. And just to think, they signed him from Man City for 8 million. That's a snip, an absolute snip. Like mentioned there with Newcastle, there is the October the 5th deadline. That is when the transfer window slams shut here in the UK. So there's still what? Just under a month for United to get this deal over the line, and it certainly seems that things have taken a positive step if you're a United fan, and now it's just a case of haggling that fee with Dortmund, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that's the major stumbling block almost out of the way. I think getting an agreement in place with the player is the main priority. There's all the bollocks with agents, which I rolled my eyes with the moment you mentioned it, and then you're just haggling over price, and at the end of the day, he's worth it in my opinion. I mean, it's silly money. I'm not saying any players, but in the current market and things being as they are, pay what they ask, because Jadon Sancho at Man United would be a revelation in my opinion. I'd genuinely consider Man United possible title contenders then off the back of that signing. I think they've done some wonderful business over the last 12 months, for example. And just another piece of evidence for the case that is coming home next summer with Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho on the same side. But we haven't got time to talk about how much you're excited to see football come home. Andrew, let's talk about other transfers. In particular, Gareth Bale. 4 Sports have reported that he's allegedly returned from international duty injured with a blow to the knee, which is, if it wasn't already, increased excitement about potentially Real Madrid getting rid of him. The Telegraph today reporting that they may even still pay 50% of Gareth Bale's wages just to get him off the books, increasing, potential of a transfer to the Premier League. We could have James Rodriguez, Jadon Sancho and Gareth Bale in the Premier League by October, Andrew Pollard.
Crazy. And again, it feels like we're going over ongoing sagas, because like the Newcastle United takeover, like the Jadon Sancho transfer, and Gareth Bale falls into that. His whole situation at Real Madrid. It's not the first time he's reported back to Real Madrid from Wales duty injured. The Madristas who, the conspiracy theorists out there amongst Real Madrid fans, they all seem to think this is like, how convenient. He always manages to be fit for Wales, and then he comes back and he was supposed to have a meeting yesterday with Zidane, which did not happen. Zidane has not spoke to him at all since he's arrived back in Madrid. The player is not trained with the first team squad. You're looking at it, and 10 days as we're recording this until Real Madrid's first game of the new La Liga season. They're playing Real Sociedad on the 20th of September. And you're thinking, well, how long is this going to rumble on for? Because I mean, you've got a player there who is one of, I think he's the fourth, maybe highest paid player in world football on £600,000, €600,000 a week. you cannot. We've gone over this so many times. You cannot have somebody on that sort of wages and them not be a key part of your starting 11 or your squad. Let alone just have them not even involved or kicking the ball, just sat in the stand, arsing around. So yeah, it is. It seems for all parties this relationship needs to come to an end. And Bale himself talked over last weekend that he's open to leaving. He also said that how much of a problem it is to leave Real Madrid because they made it a problem. Again, highlighting his deal last year to go to China that Madrid backed out on at the last minute. So he said he's open, and now with this latest caveat that Real Madrid are happy to possibly pay up to 50% of his wages to get him off the books. Then maybe Gareth Bale is coming home in the sense of returning to British football. Spurs have obviously been linked because Spurs, because not only did he obviously make his name at Spurs, but Jose Mourinho has been a long-time admirer who tried to get into Manchester United. And Manchester United are another team that have been linked with him in the past. And you think it's an interesting one though, because even then, if Real Madrid is subsidising 50% of his wages, then wherever else he goes, he may still be asking that club to fork out another 300,000 themselves a week. So it's a lot of money to spend for any club.
I think he could make a difference at the bare minimum for someone like Tottenham, certainly. And I can just imagine him turning back up to Real Madrid with a handwritten doctor's note that just says injured, suggested course of action, play golf. That'll probably be what it says. But let's wrap up with a final couple of transfers to tell you about.
Yeah, Sandro Tonali. When you're looking at some of the prices being loaded around for some of the deals going through, this one seems like such a snip. You've got one of the hottest young midfielders in world football in Sandro Tonali, and he's moving from Brescia to AC Milan for initially 10 million euros on loan, and then at the end of this upcoming season that we made permanent for an extra 15 million euros. And with add-ons, I think it can reach up to 30 million euros. So you got 30 million euros in outlay for AC Milan, who are securing themselves one of the brightest talents in football. Many have tipped him as the next Andrea Pirlo. Still only 21 years of age, made his debut for Italy last October, I believe. And of course, Brescia, it always looked like they might have to sell him this season because they got relegated after just one season back in Serie A. So yeah, there was talks of Manchester City showing interest, of Spurs, of Man United, of Barcelona, of pretty much a who's who of world football. And many were a little bit surprised that he chose AC Milan. And it turns out that Sandro Tonali just was a huge AC Milan fan as a kid, and he wants to bring them back to greatness, which I love a story like that. It's like, I'm not going to go for mega money to Man City. I'm just going to go and I'm going to rejuvenate Milan, hopefully rejuvenate Milan.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I've got a lot of respect for something like that. Like you say, a bargain signing, in my opinion, for AC. Shame that the new Pirlo won't be working under the old Pirlo, but still, he's not old, is he? Gorgeous still. But a great sign. I think he's going to do great things for them. And from one Milan club to another, Ivan Perisic returning to Inter Milan after being on loan for a year. Very successful year at Bayern Munich. He was a real key player for them, as you spotted him in the Champions League, and he's done very well for himself. Genuinely surprised more clubs haven't been linked with him this summer. But what a player, and no doubt key for what will be a fascinating Serie A this season. Yeah.
If Antonio Conte, he's got a great player going back there to Inter Milan. It is strange to see when you see these top players go on loan to another club and just win a whole load of things at the top level, and you think, well, why have you let him go on loan? And I think originally Inter Milan let him go on loan because they were hoping that maybe that loan would become permanent and then get him off the books. But still, he's 31 years of age. There's still plenty left in the tank for Ivan Perisic, and as seen last season, winning the Champions League, the Bundesliga, the German Cup. I think it was 10 assists and 8 goals in 35 games across all competitions. So he's still a very, very good player. And I thought it was quite classy of the Bayern Munich. They released a kind of an official goodbye video highlighting him, which is a nice touch. And speaking of nice touches, actually, just to drop in with Sandro Tonali about how his idol growing up was Rino Gattuso, AC Milan legend. And he actually rang Gattuso, who's now the manager of Napoli, to ask if it's okay if he takes the number 8 shirt that Gattuso wore for 13 seasons at the San Siro. So that was a nice, classy touch for him. But yeah, wherever even Perisic ends up, I think whether he stays at Inter Milan or he moves somewhere else, there's a hell of a footballer there for somebody.
Absolutely. Let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories. I'm sure the Newcastle United Takeover. Conversation will just continue in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Football, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily football podcasts right out and about. We've got our Premier League season preview series wrapping up soon. We're going through the final few clubs we haven't mentioned in the Premier League and looking ahead to the Premier League season, which starts on Saturday. And tomorrow we'll be doing our fantasy football tips for you guys. You can continue the conversation though on Twitter at WhatCultureFC. Watch there. Follow both of us. Andrew, where can people get you on Twitter?
You can get me at Cultured Left Peg.
And you can find me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureFC. This has been today's football news. My thanks to Andrew Pollard. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.